Welcome to Mr. Gossip. I am Sarah, your ultimate destination for young and the restless drama. Riza puts Adam to the test, and a devastated Kane cuts Lily out of his life. They go over why it's a good idea for Billy to go see his mother, and Sally urges him to do it with open arms. Billy insists he'll let go of the anger. He loves Jill and knows she loves him too. Sally's sure she'll see that he's grown. Billy asks Sally to come with him, and turns on the charm. At the Abbott mansion, Jack marvels that Nikki has moved out of the ranch. He senses this is different. Nikki describes their argument over what Victor did to him. Jack learns he threw her out. He's disgusted and tells her she's too good for him. They dissect the situation for a while before Jack observes that Phyllis still has the Newman Empire. Victor will not let that stand. Talk turns to Diane being at the club, and Nikki asks what happened. Victor insinuated that he wasn't alone on the yacht. Jack rants about how relentless Victor has been in going after his family. This latest attack will go unanswered. Beating his chest, he vows he won't rest until that man pays dearly. If you have a problem with that, tell me now. Nikki won't stop Jack from hitting back as hard as he can. In Las Vegas, Nick suffers a nightmare on the couch as Adam tries to wake him up. His phone rings as he tells Nick, "You don't look so good." The ringing stops as Nick tells Adam he was dreaming about fighting Matt Clark. Adam pulls out his phone, missed call from Riza. Nick presses Adam to call her back, so he does. Riza answers and says she's in the casino and wants him to come and meet her. Adam says he's on his way and disconnects. Nick grills him and Adam grows increasingly concerned about his brother before leaving. In the casino, Riza wants Adam to prove he's still got it at the gaming tables. He assures her he's all in. She invites him to a private game. If he brings the old spider out, she'll consider bringing him back to the fold. But if he's scamming her, his family's lost fortunes will be the least of his worries. Back in the suite, Nick grimaces and pops another fentanyl. When he realizes there's only one left in the baggie, he swears and pulls out his phone. At the club, Kane sulks at the bar, flashing to Nikki telling him Lily was in cahoots with Victor. Phyllis appears and remarks on him drinking for breakfast. She toots her own horn for a bit and then brings up Lily. Kane asks if she knew. "Maybe you helped." Phyllis asks what Kane is going on about. He sneers about her thinking she's untouchable. It seems that way before the bomb drops. Kane keeps downing drinks and needles Phyllis about her kids. She asks again, what's going on? Lauren arrives in time to hear Kane hollering at Phyllis to stay out of his business. "Stay out of my way. Stay out of my life," he shouts as he storms out. Lauren trots over to Red. "That didn't seem pleasant," she understates. Phyllis doesn't want to discuss Kane, so they toast to setting the world on fire. At the ranch, Lily asks Victor if he has Newman back, and if he's ready to give Chancellor back to her in Devon. He informs her there's been a change of plans. Things didn't work out how he'd anticipated. Lily wants an explanation. Victor tells her that Phyllis double-crossed Kane and is now in charge of Newman. Lily fumes, "Why are you just now telling me this? What happens to their agreement?" Victor vows he'll make good on his promise, eventually. He has Chancellor, but he has to weaponize it to wrest Newman from Phyllis. Lily erupts. Victor is lying to her again. He's used her with no consideration for what she and her kids have gone through, or Devon. She's worried him sick. How will she explain this? Victor assures her he'll hand over Chancellor in due course and her brother will understand. Lily rants about him betraying her again. Victor repeats that this is only temporary. She's unconvinced. Victor keeps saying that once he's crushed Phyllis, Chancellor will be hers. Lily throws up her hands. She has no choice but to trust him. When Lily asks about Nikki, Victor tells her she has nothing to do with this. At the door, he promises again that she'll have an empire in a few weeks. Lily can only hope he'll be true to his word. On the Kane train, Ashby gets on the phone demanding to know if there's any hope of rebuilding Arabesque. When he disconnects, Lily appears. He asks what she's doing there. She thought he might be glad to see that she's okay. Kane snaps at her to stop. He knows she's no victim and was in on it from the beginning. At the club, Phyllis and Lauren discuss showing the industry that their way is better. They'll kick ass and take names. At Society, Sally takes a business call and then rejoins Billy to tell him that she will go with him to London. She can run the company from there. Nikki tells Jack that Victor has gone too far. She'll help him teach her husband a lesson. Jack just might take her up on that. In Vegas, Riza's not impressed with Adam's blackjack and muses that he must have lost his touch. Adam insists he'll get his mojo back. "Let's go again," he tells the dealer. Nick answers the door to a young man named Joe. He tells him he's looking for supplies. The dealer shrugs that he knows a friend. Nick asks if it's Matt Clark. The guy's not talking but takes his cash. Lily tells him she had her reasons for doing what she did. Ashby asks if it felt good to rip his guts out. Lily reminds him he's not exactly a victim. Kane says if she watched his video she knows his regrets, and then yells at her for not picking up the phone to let him know they were all right. This is beyond cruelty. Lily cries, "I'm sorry, Kane. I really am." Ashby informs her that she finally got what she wanted. "I'm out of your life for good. I never want to see you again." The Rinse YNR March 27th, Kane cuts Lily off with one final blow after Victor's betrayal. Kane reached his breaking point after learning the truth about Lily's alliance with Victor. What followed wasn't just anger, it was finality. Kane didn't just lash out. He cut Lily out of his life completely, ending any chance of reconciliation and setting off consequences that will ripple through multiple families. Kane confronts Lily and walks away. Kane, Billy Flynn, didn't hold back when Lily, Crystal Khalil, showed up. By the time she faced him, he already knew everything, including her partnership with Victor, the deception, and the emotional manipulation that made him believe his family was in danger. Lily tried to explain, but Kane wasn't interested in hearing it. To him, this wasn't a misunderstanding or a bad decision. It was betrayal on every level. He made it clear that what she had done went beyond business or revenge. It was personal. The moment turned final when Kane told her she had one, and that he never wanted to see her again. There was no hesitation in his voice and no indication he would reconsider. This wasn't a pause. It was an ending. Kane's decisive move left Lily standing in the wreckage of her collapsing plan with Victor, Eric Braden. Why it matters, Lily's gamble backfires with Victor and Kane. Lily didn't just lose Kane. She also realized that Victor had no intention of honoring his deal as she expected. What she believed would be a strategic move to reclaim control turned out to be another example of Victor rewriting the rules to suit himself. That left Lily in an impossible position. She had aligned herself with Victor out of anger and desperation, but now she was stuck relying on him to follow through. At the same time, she had destroyed her relationship with Kane. Lily should know not to trust Victor by now, but it seems she hasn't learned. Kane's reaction underscored just how deep the damage ran. This wasn't about pride or ego. It was about trust, and once that was broken, there was no path back. The fallout extended beyond them. Their fractured dynamic now threatens everything connected to their shared history, including their family and business ties. Kane moves forward as Lily faces the cost. Kane's decision signals a shift in power and perspective. For the first time in a long time, he isn't reacting emotionally or trying to fix what's broken. He's choosing distance, and that changes how he moves forward. Lily, meanwhile, is left to deal with the consequences of her choices on multiple fronts. Victor's shifting plans mean she can't fully trust her position, while Kane's rejection removes any emotional anchor she once had. Elsewhere, Victor continues pushing forward with his larger strategy, proving once again that alliances with him come at a cost. What Lily thought was a calculated risk is quickly becoming a losing position. Was YNR's Diane too harsh on Jack? Jack and Diane appear to be headed for divorce. Diane's world was shattered when she walked in on her husband with Patty. Although Jack tried to explain his actions, Diane wouldn't listen, and she might regret her decision. Jack, Peter Bergman, and Diane's, Susan Walters, marriage might be over. The mustache kidnapped Jack in a bid to get Chancellor back from Billy, Jason Thompson. But Victor wasn't alone in his plan. He had help from Jack's ex-wife, Patty, Stacey Haydock. As a frantic Diane and the Abbotts searched for Jack, he was being held captive on a yacht by Patty. Jack's attempts to escape were thwarted when he was drugged. During his drug-induced state, Jack began making out with Patty. Unfortunately, at that moment, Diane busted in and caught them. As expected, Diane was fuming after seeing Jack in bed with Patty. Jack tried to explain what happened, but Diane didn't want to hear his excuses. During their confrontation, an emotional Diane slapped her husband. While Diane's reaction made for a great moment, it sparked a debate on Reddit. Most fans think she was over the top in her reaction. Yes, it would be very shocking to walk in on, but I do think she is being unreasonable. He was basically drugged and raped. Yeah, it was really weird. I thought she'd be like, okay, clearly he was drugged or trying to go along with something to save himself. Instead she is like, OMG, he got kidnapped to have an affair. WTF, wrote one viewer. However, some fans don't blame Diane for being angry. I actually think Diane was right. Jack completely forgot he was married, basically. A drug isn't going to do that to you. He doesn't get a free pass. Things aren't looking good for Jack's marriage now that Diane's move out. However, Jack isn't going to give up. The Jabot CEO will do whatever it takes to save his marriage. Although Diane isn't in a forgiving mood at the moment, fans are hopeful she'll come around. After some time apart and clearing her head, she might start to see things from Jack's perspective. Jack and Diane's road to reconciliation won't be easy, especially with Victor. With the Abbott and Newman war still raging on, the mustache will continue his scheming. If he brings Patty back again, then it might just be the end for Jack and Diane. Thanks for watching Mr. Gossip. If you enjoyed the drama, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More shocking secrets. More emotional twists. Coming your way. Stay tuned. Because the drama never ends.